I didn't exist.
Play wouldn't.
The play wouldn't go further than Act 1.
You're with Kiruna Stamell.
That's correct.
What's the worst advice you've ever been given as an actress?
The worst advice, I suppose, would actually be to say yes to every single role that's offered. Just because, obviously, because of my height, you can imagine I get offered some real doozies. You know, things that are kind of really along the lines of dwarf trope, like leprechaun, elf, that sort of thing. And I think because I've wanted to carve a role for myself in society, kind of as a serious actress, exploring, you know, the human condition and the human experience, actually saying no to certain kind of stereotypical roles, I think has actually been a positive.
Definitely.
And there are some people that would say, no, you know, put that suit on and run around and do it. And I think you've got to kind of sometimes make certain choices.
You become trapped in that role otherwise.
I think so, and I think particularly where you're playing to a stereotype that already exists, it's then harder to kind of, you know, to break out from that. Oh, that's my phone. To break out from that.
So, before you begin a show, how do you prepare for a ritual that you have or anything?
For this show, vocal warm-up, because I'm sitting down, bit of kind of stretching out to try and get as much, you know, air as you can get into a set of lungs when they're seated. For other shows which are a bit more physical, sort of more of a proper kind of, you know, all round, like a longer warm-up that, you know, from toes to the top of my head. That's sort of it, really.
No kind of touching wood or
I have some
special bunny rabbit or something.
No,
you can't talk about them there, can you?
No, I've got no weird rituals. I think I'm kind of fairly pragmatic about my acting, rather than superstitious.
Yeah.
I kind of, you know, I do the prep, know my stuff. If something goes wrong, it's because I've acquired a brain injury. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, something, you've kind of got to be prepared for anything, really.
Right.
So, yeah, but I don't go over the top with it.
No.
You know, I don't do a massive kind of workout before I go on anything.
Has anyone ever stood in your way or anything?
Oh, physically all the time when you're this height. I think, yes, there have been people with, I'm not going to beat around the bush, very overt prejudices that have, you know, it's funny actually because there are people that have had very overt prejudices and have come out and said, you know, it's an issue with your height that I have. And that got in the way of being able to access training, particularly in Australia, which is still quite conservative when it comes to drama and performance. I'm a bit sad, actually, that I was denied access to things like that would have made my battles easier, you know, would have given me more of a toolkit, you know, but I mean, I got those things, but I had to go and get them myself from everywhere, and kind of cobble it together myself because I really value education and training. So there were obstacles like that, but at the same time, although they were obstacles, in some ways they were also, well, what could I have learned from somebody that didn't believe I was worth teaching because of my height? You know, like, what could I possibly have learned? So at the same time it was negative, it was also positive in that I wasn't wasting my time with ignorant people and kind of saying, oh no, it'd be worth teaching me how to do Shakespeare. You know, maybe, you know, I think there's sometimes, you've got to pick your battles, you know? Like, some battles you stand your ground because you know that you're going to progress and move somewhere. Sometimes trying to convince somebody that you're worth teaching or loving when they're never going to, you know, get there is actually not your problem, and you find better people to work with.
It's a great way of looking at it.
And look, you're walking onto a West End stage now,
I know.
so...
I'm like, yeah,
so
I would
screw
love
you
to
guys.
tweet them all.